I'm going to let you in on a little secret as I start this short video lesson. If I could choose, or had to choose, only one thing to teach you in this class, it wouldn't be how to write a thesis statement, although that's important. It wouldn't be any of the other technical aspects of what we're learning about. It would be critical thinking, how to be a critical thinker. If you take nothing else from your time in college, that will be worth your time to learn how to become a critical thinker, because it's something that you will use for the rest of your life, and inside the workplace, outside the workplace, in every aspect of your life. And so this is a brief introduction to critical thinking. You're going to see my video bubble, my face, disappear for the rest of these slides so that I'm not a distraction to you. But I wanted to start by telling you that this is one of the really fundamental building blocks of being a student, not just a student in college, but a student of life and a student of what's happening around us. So here we go. I'm going to start here with a very basic definition of critical thinking. Many papers have been written on what critical thinking means. You can expand on it to your heart's content, and I think that's a valuable exercise. What do we really mean when we say critical thinking? I'm going to start with this very basic fundamental definition: the objective analysis and evaluation of an issue to form a judgment. When we talk about objective, you could replace the word scientific, you could replace the word research-based, that's a hyphenated two words. You could use any other number of words there, but the idea is that you have gone beyond your own opinion or the opinion of others to something that has its basis in fact, analysis, research, and data. Then you analyze it and come to a judgment based on that evaluation. You work your way through it. You ask yourself hard questions. You challenge yourself to ask, what kind of my own opinions, my own biases are getting in the way here? We all have these. We all have opinions. We all have biases. The idea is to get past those to the point where we're able to analyze objectively using research, science, and facts and data, and come to a judgment based on that kind of analysis. When science has drawn a conclusion and we disagree with it, the burden of proof at that point is on us. And so you don't get to just say, I disagree with that, therefore it's wrong. I mean, you can, and we do oftentimes. We do all the time. It happens in education, it happens in politics, it happens in sports, it happens in everything. But when there is evidence, strong evidence, objective evidence, scientific evidence, you must provide proof if you're going to deny the conclusion. We're going to talk about two specific issues here in these final two slides. And here's one of the things that you're going to probably think to yourself. We call this whataboutism. Yes, but what about that? What about this? And I'm going to address just one of the whataboutisms when it comes to science, and that is, well, 2,000 years ago, science believed that the planets revolved around Earth. And that is true. And obviously it is also inaccurate. My point is this: that was 2,000 years ago and science was wrong. Can science be wrong today? Yes. Have we gotten better at science? Immensely. Our tools, our theories, our processes have gotten infinitely better than they were. It is still possible for science to make mistakes, but we have to err. If we're going to be critical thinkers, we err on the side of where the proof lies, where the data takes us. And if we reject that, the burden of proof then is on us. In a 2021 survey of Americans, is the Earth flat? 10% of Americans said, yep, the Earth is flat. Another 9% said they weren't sure. So here's what I want you to do the next time you're out driving around, walking in the mall, whatever you do. Look around you and find 10 people and think to yourself, if these are 10 sort of random people, 2 of those folks either don't think the Earth is round or aren't sure. That, I think, should maybe terrify you just a little bit. There's not a scientist out there that says, yep, the Earth is flat, we have scientific proof. Not a single one. Yet, 20% of Americans either say it is flat or they're not sure. That is not the result of critical thinking, folks. In my final slide here, I'm going to take on something that some people might think is more controversial. It is not. The science for climate change and the fact that it's human caused is no different than the science for whether the Earth is flat or round. And yet, approximately half of Americans still say, according to research done in 2022, that either climate change is not caused by humans or it's not happening at all, or they don't know. That, to me, is terrifying because all of the research, you can say, well, there's 0.1%. All of the research tells us that supports the idea, the science that climate change is quite real and it is caused by human activity. Period. That's the science. So when you say 49% of Americans agree with that, okay, fine. That doesn't change the science. 27% of Americans say it's a natural phenomenon. That means 27% of the people had better come up with their own evidence for this conclusion, because the science, it tells us the opposite. The science is the opposite. 9% of Americans are so bad at critical thinking that they say it isn't happening at all. And these are the sorts of people who will say, well, we had a cold day today, therefore climate change isn't happening. That is weather, that is not climate, that is not science. And that doesn't work. Now, if you do the math here, let's just do the math. 49% plus 27% is 76%, plus 9% is 85%. That means 15% of Americans essentially said they don't know. Also terrifying. You don't get to say you don't know. I mean, obviously you can say you don't know, but if we're going to be critical thinkers, we start with the science and work our way backward. If you want to deny science, okay, be ready to have your own data to support your position, or all you're doing is engaging in whataboutism or denying science in a way that isn't going to be constructive and is not part of critical thinking.